It was a normal day in July 2019. The Mall of Africa in Midrand was busy. Deep inside in the cash depot of SBV services, a security guard named Bathobile Mlangeni was at work. She was 29 years old. She was trusted to protect large amounts of money, but on this day, she had a different plan. The security cameras watched her every move. They recorded her as she calmly approached two large bags filled with cash. These were bulk cash bags, holding millions of rand. She did not hesitate. The footage showed her cutting them open with a tool. Once the bags were opened, she began her audacious task. Banknote after banknote, she stuffed the money into black refuse bags. She worked quickly but without panic. It was as if she was just taking out the trash. The refuse bags grew heavy with the stolen 4 million rand. She carefully placed them into a trolley. This was not a sophisticated plan with a large team. It was just one woman, her security uniform, and a simple trolley. She was using her position of trust to commit an unbelievable crime right under the noses of her employers. It was a bold and daring move. With the money secured in the trolley, Bathobile Mlangeni began her escape. She pushed the trolley through the depot, past security checkpoints that she knew so well. No one stopped her. No one questioned the security guard moving refuse bags. She simply walked out of the building. In those few moments, she went from a trusted employee to one of South Africa's most wanted criminals. She and the 4 million rand vanished without a trace. The alarm was only raised later, when the company realized the money was gone. By then, Bathobile was long gone. The news of the heist sent shockwaves through the security industry. How could one person walk out with so much money? SBV Services was embarrassed and immediately launched an investigation. They offered a reward for any information. The South African Police Service also started a massive search. Her face was everywhere. She became known as the woman who pulled off the 4 million rand heist. The story captured the public's imagination. It was a simple crime, yet so effective. The manhunt for Bathobile Mlangeni had officially begun, but she proved to be incredibly elusive. For more than 2.5 years, Bathobile Mlangeni was a ghost. The police searched for her across the country. Her picture was circulated in newspapers and on television news. A reward of 100,000 rand was offered by her former employer, SBV Services, for any information that could lead to her arrest. Yet she remained completely off the grid. It was as if she had disappeared into thin air. Investigators followed every lead, interviewed her family and friends, and monitored her old hangouts. But every trail went cold. She left no digital footprint and made no contact with anyone from her past life. The police were baffled. They expected her to make a mistake. They thought she would start spending the money on a lavish lifestyle. A new car, fancy clothes, or an expensive house would surely give her away. But there was nothing. Her bank accounts were untouched. There were no signs of sudden wealth among her relatives. The 4 million rand seemed to have vanished along with her. This made the search incredibly difficult. Without any transactions to trace or extravagant purchases to investigate, the police had very little to go on. She was not living like a millionaire fugitive. This quiet disappearance was the most puzzling part of the story. Criminals who steal large sums of cash usually do so to fund a new luxurious life. They are often caught because their spending habits attract attention. Bathobile defied this expectation completely. She did not flee the country or go on a wild spending spree. Instead, she chose to live in obscurity, hiding in plain sight. This strategy made her an almost mythical figure. People wondered how she was surviving and where the money could possibly be. Her ability to stay hidden for so long was as impressive as the heist itself. Her family was also left in the dark. They told police they had no idea where she was. They were shocked by what she had done. They insisted they had not received any of the stolen money. The investigation confirmed this. There was no evidence that her family was benefiting from her crime. This added another layer of mystery to the case. Why steal 4 million rand if you were not going to use it? Her motive became as big a question as her whereabouts. Bathobile Mlangeni was not just a fugitive, she was an enigma that puzzled both the authorities and the public. While the nation searched for a wealthy fugitive, Bathobile was living a very different life. She had moved in with an 82-year-old family friend, Vangile Dlamini, in Zola, Soweto. To everyone there, she was known as Nathi. She was described as a humble and quiet person. She helped around the house and kept to herself. No one in the community suspected that this unassuming woman was one of the most wanted people in South Africa. She did not have a car or fancy clothes. Her life was the complete opposite of what everyone imagined. Her daily existence was one of struggle, not luxury. Neighbors in the Dlamini family said she often had no money. She would sometimes ask for small amounts like 5 or 10 rand to buy airtime or basic necessities. She owned very few possessions. The woman who had stolen millions lived like she was destitute. This quiet, low-profile existence was her best disguise. By not drawing any attention to herself, she managed to hide in plain sight for years. People felt sorry for her, thinking she was just another person struggling to get by. They never guessed her incredible secret. This stark contrast between the crime and her lifestyle is what made her story so unbelievable. Everyone expected a tale of high living, but the reality was a quiet life in a small house in Soweto. It raised a very important question: where was the money? If she was not spending it, where had she hidden 4 million rand in cash? Had she given it to someone else? Had she buried it somewhere? The police could find no trace of it. Her simple life offered no clues. She was a millionaire on paper, but in reality she lived in poverty. The community in Zola was completely stunned when the truth finally came out. The woman they knew as the quiet and struggling Nathi was actually the mastermind of a famous heist. Vangeli Dlamini, who had treated Bathobile like a granddaughter, was heartbroken and confused. She could not believe that the helpful young woman who lived in her home was capable of such a crime. The neighbors were equally shocked. They had lived alongside a fugitive for months without ever knowing. Her ability to blend in and live a simple life was the key to her long evasion of justice. The long manhunt finally came to an end on a summer day in January 2022. The police had received a tip-off from someone in the community. They descended on the small house in Zola, Soweto. They found Bathobile Mlangeni returning from the shops, carrying a bag of groceries. She did not resist arrest. Her time on the run was over. The police searched the house thoroughly, looking for the missing cash, but they found nothing. The 4 million rand was still missing. Her arrest was a major breakthrough, but the central mystery remained unsolved. In court, Bathobile's quiet demeanor continued. She did not put up a fight. She chose to abandon her application for bail, accepting that she would remain in custody. The legal process moved forward, and on the 8th of March 2023, she was sentenced. For the theft of 4 million rand, she received a sentence of 8 years in prison. Her former employer, SBV Services, said that justice was served. The National Prosecuting Authority welcomed the sentence, hoping it would deter others from committing similar crimes. But for many South Africans, the sentence felt like an incomplete ending. The biggest question still hangs in the air: where is the 4 million rand? Bathobile Mlangeni has never revealed its location. The money was never recovered. This has led to widespread speculation. Some believe she has it hidden away, waiting for her release from prison. Others think she had an accomplice who is keeping the money safe. The fact that she chose a prison sentence over revealing the location of the cash has made her a legend in some circles. People were amazed that she was willing to trade her freedom for the secret. Her case surprised so many people because it was not a typical story of greed. She did not seem to benefit from the crime in any material way. She stole a fortune but lived in poverty. She chose years of hiding and a prison sentence over a life of luxury. This has made her story a modern-day mystery. Why did she do it? Was it for someone else? Is she planning to use the money when she gets out? Bathobile Mlangeni is now behind bars, but her audacious story and the secret of the missing millions continue to capture the imagination of the nation.